Good morning, Winnipeg. My name's Emma Gomez.
And my name's Noah Bruton.
And welcome to this day's edition of KPTV
Panther Television.
Many pumpkin patches, including Johnson Farms, have been affected. Having new protocols and rules in such a short notice can be difficult. Connor Ohlson shows how Johnson Farms has adapted to these times.
The pumpkin patch has always been a great start for that Halloween spirit. It has always been a fun time to find that perfect pumpkin, but this year it might look a little different. Due to COVID-19, there has been a few changes. Gene Johnson and Johnson Farms are trying to keep that same spirit this year.
We all kind of shared our views on what to expect and how we were best going to be able to give a good experience, but also give a safe experience. So, we started implementing things like that right away.
With all these new rules in place, the traditional pumpkin patch has changed a bit with small features. Senior Chad Gardner didn't miss out on the fall tradition with even the COVID restrictions.
It really was different. There's not a lot of people out and everyone's kind of scattered, and it just feels really dreary on a sunny day, so it's definitely changed from last year.
Johnson Farms put an effort to try to slow down and stop the virus from spreading as much as possible. Johnson Farms customer Bronson Lee believes the business is doing their part to slow the spread of the virus while keeping the fun at the pumpkin patch.
I think they're doing a good job. They made everyone had their masks on, and they had signs everywhere promoting social distancing and masks, which was really neat. So
yeah, all the employees had masks, and that was really important.
Johnson Farm has been open for over 10 years and experiencing its first year they have to limit people, and unfortunately they've had to take away main attractions this year.
And then we also have giant tunnels like McDonald's have, and I just, people come in, they're like, you mean they're not open? And I was like, well, McDonald's doesn't even have open. How can a multi-million, billion-dollar company not open them? And I could. So again, being responsible, and just had to open other things. We made a corn maze this year to bring people away from the playground, get them spread out a little bit more.
It's a hard task to make sure the pumpkin patch is as safe as possible and enjoyable as past years. Chad tells us the experience he had throughout the day.
So I got to jump around the little bouncy thing with all the little kids, and then I got to go into the tunnel and go down their little slide thing too, and then now we're in the corn maze.
Make sure you stop by Johnson Farms before October 30th. This has been Connor Ohlson, KPTV Panther Television.
Thank you, Connor.
This year has been jam-packed with all sorts of history and current events. To learn more about what's going on, Paige Showen gives us the insight.
There's a whole lot of news going on, and I'm here to tell you about it. Okay, Trunk or Treat is still happening tonight. That's right. It's a COVID-friendly way to celebrate Halloween. If you aren't already celebrating with your club or organization, you can go ahead and drive through tonight in the parking lot here at the high school at 6. In case you didn't know, Halloween is this Saturday, so please be safe. If you go out, try and follow CDC guidelines, but if you can stay in and watch movies and scare yourself out of your britches, that's much better. And speaking of being scared out of our britches, the election is coming up in 5 days. If you don't feel confident in your knowledge of either candidate, please get informed. And if you are eligible to vote, please do so on November 3rd. No matter who you would support, it's very important to take the small task as it impacts our entire country. I've got some general school announcements for you on this fine Thursday. Winter sports are starting November 2nd. You will need a physical on file. Senior ads are due tomorrow. Your parents should have received an email. And the Panther Market, located near the media center, is now open. Before and after school, they're there to sell chips and gum and drinks and all that jazz. So if you need a snack, stop on by. Red Ribbon Week is this week, and this year's theme is be safe, be happy, and be drug-free. Definitely do all those things. That's what Ray Peck endorses. Definitely, don't do drugs. That's really bad. Don't do that. So I don't know about you guys, but so far this year and these news have been pretty depressing. Come on, it's gonna snow in October. October! So in case you need your spirits lifted, here's some pictures of some thick dogs. Yup, that's it. That's it. So how come it's cute when dogs do it, but when Lizzo does it, everybody's a comedian, huh? That's what I want to know. Okay. Well, folks, that's all I've got for you today. If you have anything you'd like to add to the news, please email me at pageshowen858@raypeck.org. Be nice, stay safe, smile once in a while, don't talk politics with your dad. Have a wonderful Thursday and a happy Halloween. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Paige, for the updates.
The weather that we've been having has been very bizarre, not only in Cass County, but all around the world. Let's go to Colbey Stosberg with the weather.
Today we have a fairly nice day as the rain has subsided. A bit chilly and windy though. Don't forget your jackets if you're headed out to trunk or treat this evening. Looking ahead, Halloween night and Sunday during the day, both should be nice for the sporting KPTV and Chiefs games. Be looking out for the full moon on Halloween. It's the first time since 1944 that's happened. Looking elsewhere, Hurricane Zeta has made landfall near New Orleans, Louisiana, and much of the southeast will feel the impact as the storm weakens from a Category 2 all the way down to a tropical storm. Places as far inland as Chattanooga, Tennessee, and Charleston, West Virginia will receive heavy rainfall as the storm moves back over water near Washington, D.C. in the next 48 hours.
Make sure you keep an eye out for this weather. Thank you, Colbey.
This year's sports have been heavily impacted by COVID-19. The girls' volleyball team has found a way to adapt to the new changes. Riely Hunsaker shows us the changes that have been made.
There is no question that COVID-19 has not only affected people, but sports around the world. Some of the most affected sports were high school spring sports, which ended up getting canceled altogether, the MLB, which was postponed during spring training, the NBA, that was postponed during the middle of their season, and the Summer Olympics that got moved to 2021. Luckily, sports are back, but they look a lot different. With more safety precautions, volleyball games look different this year, and one of the reasons is the requirement to wear masks. Trainer Trevor Vokeland explained more in depth on why they wear masks.
Volleyball has to wear masks because they come in close contact with each player, and then also with the players across the net, and so obviously trying to knock down the transmission of the virus between players and teams.
Another safety precaution is not huddling up as close. Senior Kiera Hipple explains the difficulty of not being able to cheer as close to her teammates.
Well, when we huddle up, we're not supposed to touch each other, but we can come in and clap and stuff, and so that really sucks, especially when somebody gets a point.
Sanitation has been a prime focus for all the adults involved with school sports this fall. Coach Aubrey James has made disinfecting the equipment a team priority.
So we use the spray that is provided to us by the district. So what we do is they're in the cart, we sanitize them with the spray before, and then they have to sit for 10 minutes, and then the girls will play with them.
The atmosphere the team is competing in looks different due to the limited number of fans and everyone wearing masks. It's not your typical year of competition.
It's just really dull. It's hard to get excited when there's only 2 or 3 parents in the crowd.
Social distancing is recommended by the CDC to slow the spread of the virus. Red Peg Volleyball is doing their part to help stop the spread.
The benches are spread apart for kind of like social distancing, so that again the girls aren't just right next to each other, and so if they're talking amongst each other, it still is keeping them separated.
A lot has changed this year, but James believes that due to the mask, they can still play somewhat normal volleyball.
Game-wise, nothing has really changed other than the mask, the face coverings. Girls are still getting to cheer, girls are still getting to go to a huddle. And I think that is the reason for that is because they have masks and face coverings.
James is proud of her team for persevering through tough times this year so they can play volleyball.
And so I'm proud of the girls for sticking with it and just enjoying every day playing volleyball, the sport they love.
Districts are at Carthage High School this year, and they play Lisa West in the first round. This has been Riely Hunsaker for KPTV Panther Television.
Thank you, Riely.
Student loans can be looking a bit different on how to apply to them. Conlan Downey explains how it may be different from past years.
Students across the nation use student loans every year. 69% of students take out student loans a year to further their education. With the upcoming election, student loans will look a lot different. If Trump is re-elected, then student loans will remain the same way they have always been. If Biden wins the election, student loans will be forgiven up to $25,000 for students struggling to pay their debt. Senior Reese Dunsworth idolizes that he will be using student loans to further his education.
I feel like student loans are pretty necessary in order to get kids into college, because some kids aren't able to afford it, and by using student loans, they're able to get into college.
Student loans can be the make or break for students going to college. Student loans wouldn't be forgiven right away, but only after a couple years. Senior Chase Martell goes in depth on how important student loans are for students.
Student loans being taken away nationwide would affect students because it's taking away money that they can put towards their college.
Teacher Erin Seitz appreciated that student loans allowed her to go to college for the amount of time she wanted.
Loans allowed me to complete my degree in the 4 years that I was wanting to complete it in, instead of extending my college time until I could pay for everything through my own pocket.
Student loans have helped many students attend colleges and get the degree they've always had wanted. Seitz is no different from any other Americans using the loans to further their education.
I did use loans to attend college, even though I was provided with several scholarships and grants throughout my 4 years. I still needed loans to pay the full tuition.
Student loans, just like everything else, are being debated for this year's upcoming election. Make sure you guys are informed and are registered to vote on November 3rd. This has been Conlan Downey from KPTV, signing off.
Thank you, Conlan. This information can be very important for the class of 2021.
The only thing we have going for us this year is sports. Riely Hunsaker updates us on RAPAC and major sports from this week.
Thank you, guys. Yep, the World Series wrapped up Tuesday night with the Dodgers beating the Rays in 6 games. They beat them 3-1. Shortstop Corey Seager won MVP as he had a batting average of .400 in the World Series, along with 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. A big RBI coming in Game 6 to give the Dodgers a lead 2-1. Mookie Betts scoring. Unfortunately, though, Justin Turner tested positive, and he was pulled during the 8th inning of the game. The good news is he has no symptoms, though, but they're still testing the rest of the players to make sure they are good, and I believe they're quarantining for 14 days. Speaking of COVID, Rockhurst and Lee Summit North football teams, they will not be playing in districts this year due to COVID positive tests throughout their team, so therefore their season is over. And speaking of football, the NFL, the Chiefs are 6-1. They played the 0-7 New York Jets on Sunday at noon, and the Chiefs are looking to build off of a big win against the Broncos last Sunday. They beat them 43-16. Back to you guys to wrap up the show.
Make sure you come out and support RAPAC activities in your local sports.
Thank you, everyone, for the updates on COVID-19, weather, news, and sports. Make sure you check out our socials on Instagram, RAPAC Now, or on our website, rapacnow.com. Again, thank you for tuning in to today's edition of KPTV Panther Television.